All right, so to kind of continue, like I said, when I was 23, just graduated from college, I wanted help to get basketball videos of when I was younger. If I had basketball videos, first off, I wanted to study a swag flow. I'm not going to get into details about that, but this is the thing. What people don't realize is, and my friends told me this, like my friend Ronaldo told me this, and other people told me, they said I had the most swag out of anybody they'd ever seen. And he was like, he got his swag from me. And a lot of these players, a lot of these dudes in the NBA who I played with, they got their stuff from me. They learned they got their shot from me. They got a lot of their stuff from me. The moves I did, things I did unconscious, they got it from me. A lot of the best NBA players you see. And a lot of people, but not just NBA players, like, because they don't even have swag. But a lot of people got their swag from me. And now they're successful. They're doing good and stuff. And meanwhile, what happened with me was I lost the swag because, I'm not going to get into details, but you know, my sophomore year of college, after I showed my mom and dad the quad model, they didn't believe me. You know, I was looking at videos and I became conscious and I lost the swag. And this is the thing, is because I was always unconscious, and since I had the swag so much, I never knew I even had the swag flow. So the thing is, like, I lost it and I didn't know how to get it back because I didn't know what it was exactly, you know? And I think that I'm starting to kind of get it back, but I would like videos of when I was younger, and I'm not going to go into details, but anyways, I wanted videos, and also just to study how, you know, just to study my shot, study how I moved and everything. And I did moves nobody did. I did things nobody did. And if I could study it, it could make me so much better. But, you know, I tried to tell my mom when you know, after, you know, when I went to Kauai, I was like, hey, can you and dad help me to get basketball videos? You know, maybe talk to some people. And my mom was like, oh my God, get over basketball. You suck at basketball. I'm like, okay, maybe I did start to suck because of the shoot-away machine. It really did mess me up. And I can go into details exactly how it messed me up, how it made me put my foot in the wrong way. And then my dad tried to fix it, but he told me to fix it the wrong way. And if it wasn't for the shoot-away, none of that would have happened. And it just deteriorated everything. But, you're like, oh my God, you stuck in, why are you stuck in the past? This is why you're schizophrenic, because you're stuck in the past. And I'm like, dude, I'm not even schizophrenic. I actually discovered the theory of everything. Oh, no, oh my God, you're schizophrenic. You think you discovered the theory of everything. Ah! No, I did discover the theory of everything. But this is, I'm not trying to be mean to my mom, but this is actually how she sounded, but worse. So I'm like, dude, I discovered the theory of everything. I want some help. I need some help and support, you know, and I'd like to get basketball videos. Oh my God, you suck at basketball. Why do you want basketball videos? Didn't your grandpa tell you that you're stuck in the past? This is why you're schizophrenic. And then, you know, and then she told my aunt that same fucking thing. And my aunt was like, oh, why do you want the basketball videos? Is it because you're stuck in the past? Is that why you're schizophrenic? It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. I'm not schizophrenic, you fucking dumbasses. But my point is, you know, I'm trying to talk to my mom. And, you know, I want the basketball videos. This is right when I graduated college. She's like, and then I told you, my mom was like, you haven't done anything since middle school. First off, that's a cruel thing to say. She's always acting fucking cruel. But like I said, growing up, the thing is, they were always the best to me, my mom and dad. They treated me like, as my uncle said, they spoiled me. They treated me like a king all the way up to high school until the shoot-away machine messed up my shot. And then they started treating me bad. You know, but before that, they treated me spectacularly. So don't think it's like something that's a character trait of her. No, she always treated me royally, you know, regally. And now she's treating me like, you know, like crap. So I'm like, you know, Mom, you know, I would like to, no talk about the past. Don't talk about the past. And she got that from my grandpa. My grandpa's whole thing was, you know, after the abuse that occurred to me, he was like, yeah, well, one thing is, you know, never talk about the past because, you know, when you're in the flow, you're in the eternal moment. So I was cool with that. I was like, okay, I won't talk about the past. But then when I wanted to talk to my dad, my mom's like, your dad won't talk to you after how you treated him in high school. Don't you remember how horrible you treated him? And I'm like, dude, yeah, okay, yes, I remember. That was a terrible time. But it was, and I wanted to say it's because of the shoot-away. I was like, oh my God, you're blaming the shoot-away machine? If anything, the shoot-away machine would have helped you. It would have helped your shot. Oh my God, you don't take responsibility for anything. And it's like, that's what my grandpa taught. Again, my mom always misuses my grandpa's teachings. And my grandpa even admits it. He says she uses it in a predator-prey way. It's like, no. It was the shoot-away machine. It did mess up my shot. And there's nothing wrong with me elaborating that truth, you know? And it did mess up things, and it did cause problems and stuff, but let's move on. But then my mom was like, oh my God, you're stuck in the past. We can't get over basketball. I'm like, dude, I could still be playing basketball. If I could get videos, I could be huge. I could have been huge if I could have got the videos and studied what I did, when I was unconscious and considered one of the best in the nation. And like I said, I was the best. A lot of these players got their swag from me, and now they're doing good. A lot of these people got their swag from me, now they're doing good. But because I was always unconscious, and which was made me the best, when I became conscious, I deteriorated because I didn't know how to get the swag flow back. That's why I wanted more videos. But I think I'm starting to get it back a little bit. But, you know, I was the best, and then I became the worst because of that, you know? And especially after if the shoot-away machine didn't mess up my shot, none of it would have happened. And like I said, I wouldn't have even lost the swag flow if I wasn't looking at the videos my sophomore year of college after I quit to get back into basketball. But the only reason why all that crazy stuff happened was because of the shoot-away machine. Was, you know, I tried to show my mom and dad the quadrant model. They didn't believe it. I wanted their help. I wanted their support. I thought I could help get me back into basketball, help get me back into rap music and stuff, but they didn't support me. They just, my mom and dad just assumed I was mentally ill. My grandpa didn't believe the quadrant model, and he's like, well, what Ryan really wants is independence. And he's like, well, what's going on is Ryan, he's not working and he's not independent, and therefore he has a fragile ego, because only when you work, that strengthens your ego. So let's get him to work and make him independent. And that made things even 1,000 times worse. Because then I'm like, dude, I want to talk to my mom and dad. My mom's like, no, I don't want anything to do with them. I want them to be independent. So my mom, again, always duplicating what my grandpa's saying, but in an excessive way. But my grandpa acts like he's like, well, I tried to get your mom and dad to talk to you. No, you didn't, dude. My grandpa was like, yeah, Ryan just wants to be independent, and he just needs to be independent, and he needs to get a job, and he's just using this because he has a fragile ego, and you know, a fragile ego structure, so he just made up the quadrant model in order to stay independent on his mom and dad. And I'm like, dude, I just want to fucking help. Can I get some help and support? This is when I was 23 years old. I just graduated from college. And it's been like that since. So, you know, I'm trying to talk to my mom and dad. I'm trying to get them to talk to me and see me. But my mom's like, I don't want anything to do with him. I want him to be independent. I fucking hate him. So, you know, I wanted to help get the basketball videos and stuff, and it's like, you know, and I'm trying to talk to my dad. I'm trying to get in touch with my dad. I'm like, I know if I could just talk to them, I get along well with people. I know that I'm not going to fight with them unless they want to intentionally fight with me. I'm going to be, even if they try to intentionally fight with me, I will stay calm. And that happened the one time when they saw me in 2014 when I went to my grandma's house and they tried to kick me out, and we're standing outside of my grandma's place. And I'm like, can we see a psychologist, please? Can we try to work this out and stuff? And my mom and dad are like, no, you're living on the streets. Get out of you can't go back to your grandma's house. You're going to be on the streets unless you start taking medicine. And I stayed calm. I was just like, can you guys please just help me out a little bit? I just need a little bit of help. You know, can we try to work things out? No, my dad's like, well, have fun on the killer streets of LA, motherfucker. And I'm like, dude, why the fuck they have so much hatred and animosity toward me? And I think, and again, like, I feel bad for them because they know they abused me, and they know, and they have to tell themselves that I'm bad, because otherwise it's too much for them to handle. I'm just trying to say I'm not bad. What happened was the shoot-away machine messed up my shot. If it wasn't for the shoot-away machine, none of that would have happened. It messed up my shot. Then my dad tried to fix it. He messed things up worse. Then they tried to fix more things. He tried to fix my legs when I did everything, and just destroyed my basketball game. And then that made things worse with me and my dad. My dad thought I was going to be playing in the NBA. He went to every one of my games growing up. He was super into me in basketball. And then things deteriorated because of the shoot-away machine. But we didn't know that. You know, and I said it coincided with me having a hurt ankle and also me shooting overhead. So he probably thought, oh, well, Ryan's just shooting bad because he started to shoot overhead and he had a hurt ankle and he deteriorated. No, it was a shoot-away machine that did it. You know, it had nothing to do with any of that other stuff. It wasn't shooting overhead. Like I said, I had a video of me shooting overhead before the shoot-away machine. I was moving into a perfect form, everything. It was a shoot-away machine. It didn't let me move into shots the way good shooters do. And then my dad tried to fix it and told me to do the wrong thing with my feet. And if it wasn't for the shoot-away machine, that would have never happened. And all this stuff had to do with the shoot-away machine. So, but my point is, yeah, so, you know, and I'll just like give another example. Like I tried to tell my grandma. I was like, Grandma, can you please tell mom and dad to talk to me and see me? This is like, all the way up to 2020, 2021. This is before Katie had the abortion. And I'm like, can you please have them see me and stuff? And my grandma was like, she's like, your mom and dad won't talk to you and see you? And I'm like, yes, they won't. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe that. What's wrong with them? And I was like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them, So my grandma's like, okay, I'm going to talk to your mom. So and then my grandma comes back to me. She's like, your mom says the reason she won't talk to you is because you yell at her. And I was like, Dude, the fucking reason why I've yelled at my mom is because when I try to talk to her, and like at the time I was thinking like, well, maybe I do yell at her, maybe, and that's when I wrote in my like in my book when I tried to blame myself and blame my software. But my grandpa said it's not blaming, it's just taking responsibility for your software, and that's not you. That's not blaming yourself because you are not your software. But when I was trying to blame my software, I'm like, yeah, you know, I get mad at my mom and I shouldn't use anger because. But the thing is, like, I look at it and I look at it objectively, and I look at what happens when I talk to my mom, and she cuts me off, she belittles me, she has a condescending attitude toward me, she doesn't let me speak, she thinks I'm a piece of shit, and then I'm talking to her, and I'm like, Mom, you know, I would like to talk to you and Dad. That's basically it. My mom goes, no, it's never gonna happen, huh? And then she wonders why I start to yell. Because it's frustrating, and I try to speak, and she cuts me off, so I have to fucking start yelling. But then people look at me and say, "Oh, you're the bad guy. You yell. You're a bad guy. You yell." And that's why I have the kind of a compassion for the victim, because I'm like, I understand what it's like to be in that fucking place. It's like, dude, I fucking yell because I'm being mistreated. You know, so it's like, so. You know, but my grandpa would probably be like, well, if you're in the flow, you just be all out and just, you know, you don't get involved in the ego and the self-confirmatory behavior like yelling and stuff. And maybe that's true, but also, you know, it's like, it's frustrating. It doesn't need to be this fucking way, you know? And his whole thing makes things worse because he's like, you know, just take responsibility for, and my mom's like, yeah, just take responsibility for your software. Yeah, we're having nothing to do with you. You have to accept everything is just fine. Trying to just mimic my grandpa's teachings. So it's like, you know, so yeah, I have yelled at my mom because I'm like, Mom, can I talk to Dad? Can I talk to you? Can I see you guys? And no, it's never going to happen. No. Mom, do you think I'm schizophrenic? She doesn't answer. She just hangs up on me, you know? Of course I fucking yell at her sometimes, but they say, but according to my grandma, my grandma says, your mom doesn't talk to you because you yell. No, I yell because my fucking mom won't talk to me and see me. And same thing with my dad. And I've never, and like I said, I haven't seen my dad since high school, really. I saw him like 1-2 times after high school for very short, like less than an hour, you know, and with my mom, the same thing. I've only seen her about 1 or 2 times, 2 or 3 times after high school for like less than an hour each time. And each time, and that was, I haven't seen her at all since about 2014. And it's 2024. And I graduated high school in 2008. So it's like, you know, I understand that people would imagine like, oh, your parents don't talk to you. Well, it must be because you're a bad guy. Well, and like I said, what my refutation is, I haven't seen them. They haven't seen me. They haven't interacted with me. How could they believe what they believe if they haven't interacted with me? You know? So, but like I said, then Katie got the abortion thing, and I felt a big reason why was because of my mom and dad, and my friend, even my friend told me, he was like, dude, yeah, it is fucked up that your mom and dad wouldn't come and see you and stuff, and that they won't reconcile with you even when you were having a baby. And like I said, that's what I wanted from the beginning too. One of the things was I thought that having the baby would help me get back in contact with my mom and dad, because if I had the baby, they would see the baby and stuff. The other thing was, I was hoping that it would help me get, you know, involved with Katie's family and stuff, right? When I was having the baby, like I was like, yeah, you know, maybe I can make friends with her family and they could support me and support the quadrant model and help me get my stuff big, and I'll have some support in another factor, because I don't have any support or any help from anybody. If I have a baby with her, maybe I'll get some more support, you know? But like I said, then Katie started, you know, my mom and dad, you know, first off, my swag flow was off, so Katie wasn't feeling me. And then, you know, she starts to think I'm schizophrenic. She asks to talk to my mom and dad, and my mom and dad are like, no, we won't talk to him because he's schizophrenic. Or they didn't say that, we won't talk to him, we won't see him. So then she starts to cry, and Katie's like, maybe you are schizophrenic. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck, dude? No, I'm not schizophrenic. I don't have any mental illness. I actually discovered the theory of everything. You fucking retards, you know? But it's like, it's really frustrating. So, but then, you know, then she ends up having the abortion. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, a big fucking part of the blame is my parents, dude, for not fucking seeing me, not talking to me. And I said this before, like one time I went to a synagogue and I was listening to a rabbi. The rabbi was talking, we were having like a class. The rabbi was like, when the Messiah comes, the Messiah is going to teach the importance of the father supporting his son and blessing his son. Because I guess like at every meal, the father's supposed to put his hand on top of his son and bless him. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that's what should be fucking happening. My dad should be supporting me and blessing me, not fucking ignoring me and abandoning me and throwing me to the side and shit. And I'm like, this is fucked up, dude. And especially because in the back of my mind, I'm like, dude, I discovered the theory of everything. I could be doing huge with basketball. I just need, if I had more videos, I could be doing even better. But even with the few videos I have, I could be doing decent with basketball. But if I had more videos, I could be doing huge. And if I was just playing any basketball, any serious basketball, I could be doing huge with rap music and making poetry and shit. So it's like, I could be doing big stuff, but my dad's not supporting me, and they threw me to the side. And it's like, dude, if I could have just got some support, I could have been doing huge. And that's my grandpa's whole thing was like, well, Ryan, you know, the universe is an anti-entropic rewarding function, and really you need to be independent and working. And I'm like, well, dude, but you know, you kept on trying to make me independent. If you would have just fucking cooled the fuck down and quit your bullshit and just let me just encourage my mom and dad to talk to me and not been like, let's make Ryan independent. Let's make Ryan independent. When you're in the flow, you're not attached to anything, even your family. Make it independent. Everything is one. You need to accept everything's just fine, even though everything isn't just fine, you know? It's like, everything's just fine, Ryan. No, not everything is just fucking fine. Not when you're doing your bullshit. So then I'm stuck with, you know, all this chaos going on. And I'm like, dude, all that has to happen is I could easily just talk to my mom and dad, show them I'm a normal person, establish a normal, harmonious relationship, which I would because I'm not hard to get along with. I don't have a fucking personality disorder. I'm a normal person. And then we can move on. We can move on. And like I said, this is other stuff I wrote about in my book is like people might look at me and say, oh, you're cussing. Well, maybe your mom and dad don't like cussing. No, like I said, growing up, my dad was buying me Eminem uncensored CDs when I was 9 years old. My dad was buying me rap music, all this. My dad loved rap music because we were listening to the Lynch Mob, NWA, all that stuff. My dad cussed all the time. I cussed. My mom cussed. There was never any morality instilled in my family. So for them to now be like, oh, Ryan's bad, we don't want anything to do with him. No, they never taught any morality. And that's why I mentioned that in the book that I wrote when I sent to Katie. I was trying to establish that I'm not a bad guy. My parents didn't have any morality. They did whatever they wanted. They encouraged me to do drugs. I never have done drugs, but they encouraged me to do drugs. My mom was like, Ryan, do drugs. It's fine. Like, don't worry. And you know, and my mom encouraged, she wanted me to have sex, you know, when I was in high school. She's like, go to a party and have sex. Quit fucking worrying about your basketball. Just go to, you know, do drugs and fucking have sex and, you know, do it. My mom taught me immorality. My mom wanted me to be immoral, but I was the opposite. I was moral, you know? So, but it's like, you know, if all I have to say is if it wasn't for the shoot away machine, none of the bad stuff would have happened because my mom and dad were always there for me. They went to every one of my games. They loved me. They treated me, like I said, regally. But then the shoot away messed up my shop. Then my mom was like, what happened to you? You're a shooter. What the fuck is going on? I'm embarrassed to go to your games. And my dad's like, Marla, shut up. He's doing fine because I was a starting point guard on varsity as a freshman. But, you know, and I should have been. But, you know, my shot was messed up because of shoot away and things were deteriorating. And then my dad tried to fix it and then things deteriorated more. And my dad's like, well, maybe if you fix your feet when you play defense and maybe you fix your feet and I'll try to, and they tried to fix all this type of shit and it just made everything deteriorate. And it all stemmed from the shoot away because I was always unconscious. Even up till college, I would have still been doing amazing because I was super in the flow. And that's why I was so fucking good. And that's why everyone else was mediocre. Everyone else was mediocre and they were good at being mediocre. And then when they got older, they got good at being good because they copied people like me who had the swag flow, who was really good and unconscious. But I was so unconscious that when things fell apart, I couldn't get it back because I was so unconscious before I didn't know what I was doing, you know? But anyway, so I'll get more into what happened next in the story.